My name is Misty, and I've been coming to Integrative Wellness for about a year now. I had what they call chronic hip dysplasia. It's a fancy name for I was born without hip sockets, so I was never supposed to be able to walk. It was pretty great that I could walk, but I've experienced pain my entire life because it's always been bone on bone and misery for me. When I was younger, it wasn't such a bad thing, but after every single pregnancy I've had, every doctor that I had, and every one of them was different, they're like, be prepared to never walk again. And I'm like, well, I was never supposed to walk in the first place. I guess it's a blessing that I had it this long. And I come out of it and I'd be in more pain, yes, and I had 4 children, and so I had more pain and I experienced more trauma to my hips, and they said at 28 years old I was supposed to go into surgery. And I told them, you can put me under the knife if you can catch me. And so I was bound and determined to never go into surgery until I was in a wheelchair. And it was almost last year that I was to the point where I was starting to look at wheelchairs and modifying my house. But I remember one of my friends, Dr. Frogley, he was doing this thing 10 years ago where he was starting to put together groups of doctors and physical therapists and everybody under one roof to be able to do a healing type thing so that people that were in my kind of condition could become 100% without having to do physical therapy one day and then massage therapy the next day, and chiropractic the 3rd day, and then the surgical center was a hit or miss thing if you ever got in. He put it all under one roof. He's tied in the surgical center. He's made it so that it's streamlined, and all you have to do is come in once a week, not 6 or 7 times a week. It's great. And when I remember that I heard him doing this even back then, I researched him and I found him again, and I realized how far he'd come, and I went to one of his free lunches, and he explained to everybody how far the stem cell therapy has come, how far we need to continue to go, and how it may not be available when people are going to need it because people are starting to regulate it so badly. And when he explained it to both me and my friend that came with me, because at that point in time I was no longer able to drive, let's be honest. And so I was to the point where I was done. I was a cripple. He got us in, he got us started with the physical therapy, he got us started with chiropractic, he got us started with the exercises, and then after that, I got my first round of stem cell, and I started to be able to walk again at work. People at work noticed me not limping anymore, and they started asking me what was going on. What are you doing? And I'm like, well, I found Dr. Frogley, I found Integrative Wellness, and they are putting me back together, piece by piece, one moment at a time. And they take pictures, they took x-rays of my hips, they made sure that everything was going the way it was supposed to. And what he did for me was he gave me back my job, because I was going to have to quit my job. He gave me back my life. He gave me back another 15, 20 years with my kids of running and playing. So this last weekend, I had a friend that I hadn't seen in a year, and she used to live with me, so she knew how bad it really was. And she asked me, how you been, how you doing, because I invited her to go to this farm festival, and it's a pumpkin festival. And so they have pictures opportunities, and she had her 3-year-old grandson, and so we took him, and we went, and I was carrying a pumpkin, and I was carrying the baby, and I was going up and down the haystacks, and it was so much fun. I would put him on the tractor, I'd jump down, and I'd take pictures, and she's like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, what do you mean what's wrong with me? She's like, what have you done to yourself? You couldn't even walk when we last were hanging out. And I'm like, let me tell you about Integrated Wellness. Oh my word. And now she's got 15 people that are in chronic pain that like I was, and she's telling them all about it. She's so super excited. She couldn't believe how big of a change. And then my coworkers, almost every single one of my coworkers who knew me before and know me now are coming in. Everybody here, I walk in and, hey, what are you doing? We're so happy to see you. I know everybody here because I referred them all because I can walk again. It's amazing what I've been through. It's amazing what happened to me. I'm never going to be able to say thank you enough. So